Good morning guys. I've finally got a metal delivery. These are all precisely cut pieces to make up my new rear bumper. I say precise, they're probably a few mil out, but saves me doing all the cutting because they offer a cutting service. So today's job is to try and sort of at least tack the bumper sort of generally together in the sort of shape that it's going to be, and then it can be, you know, painted either separately. What I'd like to try and do is try and get these brackets off here. They're held on with this big 3 bolt and then 2 other bolts in there, and then when I make the bumper, weld the bumper onto this bracket so that I can remove it, which will aid, you know, painting in relation to painting the chassis and stuff like that. So, but I don't hold up much hope for getting those undone. Like everything on this truck, very crispy. So I've got Goliath, the compressor out, and the needle scaler, and I've just sort of needle scaled around the heads of the bolts and things like that to get sort of the loose crap off. And then we're going to attack it with, we'll try the impact gun and we'll try breaker bars, and we'll see what we can snap. I don't mind if we snap it because I can replace the bolts, but I just kind of want to get it off. So we shall attempt that. I shall bring you back when I've got some progress. Quick update halfway through. 2 nuts in there, or the 2 bolts, they're captive nuts I presume. They came undone straight away with the impact gun. The big one also came undone. However, the bolt is seized within this tube, and I have pounded on that really hard, and that does not want to come through. So it's completely seized inside that tube. So we should use the power of fire to try and heat this tube up, and then give it another couple of hard whacks and see how that comes out. This side, again, same problem. However, 1 nut came undone. This one is no longer a 19, so I'll probably have to hammer on an 18 or something and try and get that one off. But I want to play with fire first, so we'll see how that goes. I wouldn't touch that, that's quite hot. That's also probably quite hot. Probably spent a good 5 or 10 minutes heating that up, and then had to hammer the living crap out of it to get it to move. But we got it out. Now I just have to repeat the process on this side. I'll bring you back when I've done it. Believe it or not, it's been about an hour since I last updated you guys because this side was an absolute arse. Heated it up 10 minutes, 15 minutes, smashed on it, like proper smashed on it, wasn't budging. Just kept heating it and whacking it and got it to move like, I don't know, centimetre at the most. Just kept repeating the process and it just wasn't going, and ended up getting a puller on it, which I had to, I mean, see how long it's been, I can actually hold it, it's gone cold. I had to make little studs that fitted inside there that got progressively bigger. I had to file down my puller to fit inside there, and a combination of that and the previous heating and hitting got it off. You can see how hard I was hitting it because I've bent that up and bent that up, but that'll all whack back into place, so I'm not too fussed. But both sides got the brackets off, which was what I set out to do. So now I can clean them up and clean up the bolts. I might use new bolts or just do something so that I can put them back on now and start mocking up the bumper using the metal that I've got. But I wanted to get them off so that when I mock I can just unbolt and paint, take it away and paint, and then bolt it back on again. So I shall carry on. I'll update you in a bit. Okay, I've cleaned up those brackets and bolts and just gave it a little grease, and I run a 12mm drill through the centre of that spacer, and that was just the right size just to bring it out. So everything's nice and free now, and it's not bolted tight but tight enough. And now I can start mocking up what I'm doing. This bit will be replaced with that bit, and 90% of what I'm doing is in my head and 10% of it's sort of scribbled on paper. It's just generally how I work. So I'm gonna start sort of double checking everything, and then I'll start tacking bits into place and see what we can come up with. Getting there. This is just tacked together so I can make adjustments if I need to, and just taking measurements, making sure it's level and not on the piss, and making sure that everything's central. And then the general idea, sorry about the wind, sidebar there, then there'll be some standoffs above it and another one there, then there'll be some triangulation, and that'll be a tow hitch. I think it's coming along alright. So 90% of it's in my head, 10% on paper. Make it up as you go along. It's the best way. Right, I'll bring you back when I've got some more progress. Well, it's the following day because I had to pop out yesterday afternoon. But I've been carrying on this morning, tacking bits into place, and we're sort of getting there. Got both the side bits done, the standoffs, and the tow hitch done. So everything's just tacked at the moment. But it's just a case of lots of measuring and making sure that everything's straight. I've got my trusty set square. And I also have to take into account this couldn't protrude any further past here because I'm putting a spare wheel under here, and I know it comes really close to this. So the next thing will be doing some, obviously I'll cut it on the mitre saw at an angle. There'll be at either side, and then there'll be one up here either side, and then I'll cut these sort of 45-degree angle as well, so you haven't got a sharp corner to bash into. Keep Mr. Health and Safety happy. Do the same that side, so cut that like so, and the original bumper would have had 2 bolt holes here, and I've gone through with a modified slimmed down pencil through the bolt hole and marked those 2 points. So when I've finished tack welding everything, I'll unbolt it and drill completely through, and there'll be 2 bolts going in to those captive nuts there, and that'll give it some extra support on those sides. And these I've left when I've done my preliminary measurements. It was so that it was sort of in line with that point there, which it is. But if I need to, you know, kind of do a curvature angle for wheel clearance, I'm pretty sure it's fine. But if it looks a bit odd, I can just modify the ends accordingly. I've got some sheet steel coming that I'm going to be putting a plate across. It's going to run pretty much across here. We'll have a little tiny sort of like 1/2 inch lip going up, so it'll attach to the car here, go onto here. It'll be welded onto the bumper but attached by screws onto the car, or riv nuts or something like that, and that will just sort of fill in this gap here, so it just looks a little bit less odd. I might put some gusseting in the corners. I've got some bits and bobs that I can use, but that's kind of what I had in mind when I did my little sketch and took my calculations, so I'm quite happy with how it's coming out. I shall carry on now and bring you back when I've got some more progress. I've been fettling away with it for the last few hours, and I think we're finally got the bulk of it done. Pretty pleased with that. It's kind of the look that I had sort of drawn up and kind of had in mind. And yes, it does clear. Only just. I had to sort of just fettle it a bit just to make it clear. But I could have changed the angle of these, but I wanted the angle here. You see that line like that? I wanted it to be the same angle as that, otherwise it would have looked weird. So I knew it would be tight, but a little bit of fettling. And if I need to, I can always just put a little spacers where it bolts on down there. Just that'll just drop it down like 1 mil or something. So I think the next step is I've marked the holes. I'm just going to double mark them as well, right from the outside, and then take it off and drill those holes and fully weld it up. Right, I think I'm going to call it a day. If you like what I do, just hit the subscribe button and the little notification bell, and you'll get a notification every time I bring out a new video. And leave a comment. I always like to hear your thoughts. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye.